Hello, Music Multiverse listeners. It's a full house tonight. It can only mean one thing. It's Beyond Your Radio, and it's Panelists' favorite show, and a little different this year. I just said I'm tired of trying to come up with things, so we're just going alphabetical. And last time we met, it was the D's. That's right. Panelists, artists, bands. They went from the Doors to the Doobies. They went from Dion to Celine Dion, Dream Syndicate to Depeche Mode, and Bobby Darin to Bob Dylan. Check it out. Definitely do that. Today is brought to you by the letter E for Encore. That's right. Or EMI, one of the great record labels. Eighth note. Yeah. That's 0.125 enough for you. That's like playing the hand in the Addams Family as an actor. What's the point? Yeah. Echo, right? Echo chamber. That's what it's like sometimes when I'm on the show all alone. And then that all-important engineer who apparently drove the Crazy Train, the Night Train, John Coltrane. All right, I'll stop because we got a lot of people on the show tonight. So why don't we meet these entertaining and educated panelists? He's been told he's excellent in bed. The Grateful Dude. Yeah, okay. He said,
That's
thank
what
you
we're
very
leading
much.
off with?
Where'd you come up with that one?
I don't know.
That's what we lead off with.
Yeah, all right. Don't worry, it gets bad when it gets to you, Alex. He said, thank you very much when we eliminated Elvis from tonight. Ray Geska.
God.
Yeah. Her EIN number is EIN number. Nobody know what that is?
Yeah.
Would Jeff Crichton know? That's your entertainment identification number in Hollywood for bands, actors. You have an EIN number. Hers is 86753. Oh, no. Susie Q.
Oh, God. These are getting worse.
God.
Yes.
You're running out of material.
He is the equalizer, Jeff Young.
Jeff Young's gone.
All right. He's heard of earworm, but never thought it'd get this bad. Steve Scouten. He might mention Edna Swap in his honorable mentions list. Jeff Crichton.
Never.
Nope. Okay. He wrote once, echoing euphoria envelops everyone in this ecstatic event. Alex Kaluzny. Never truer alliterated words were spoken. There. Let's start off with the Grateful Dude.
Okay, if you must.
Starts with you.
Yeah, all right. My group, I think they're even playing tonight. They're not my favorite band. I think me and Mark are in agreement with this. I think they're hyped. And they have a few good songs, but they made my top 5. It's the Eagles.
Okay. I have a feeling that won't be the only time they're mentioned.
I would think so.
Were they ever really known as the Eagles?
No.
I thought it was just Eagles.
Eagles. Yep.
I thought you were going to go with Ethro Tull.
You got to blend it. It's
I thought they were under the H's for the Eagles. I'm sorry. Let me rearrange my list.
But they're to me they're an average band. They've had some good songs. I've seen them 3-4 times in concert, and they never blew me away. They never did. But they made my top 5. So
okay.
Ray, do that pose again. It looks like you got electrocuted behind your background.
I did.
Steve Scouten.
Good evening. My number 5. I had 2 that I had there, but this one stood out. We've talked about him a little bit, and he came up in a Jack White conversation not too long ago. My number 5 is Eminem. He's one of the best rap artists in history. He stands the test of time. He's still performing now. In the mid-90s, he took over the rap scene, and I don't necessarily think he's got a stranglehold on it now, but he did.
Yeah.
So for me, it was between him and my number one honorable mention. But yeah, he wins out as my number 5.
Mr. Young.
Well, you guys already mentioned 2 of the 5 I had, so I guess I'll pick one of those first. I'll just go with the Eagles. Like I saw that. I think this is true. Is what I read. It has to be true. It was on the internet. It said their greatest hits album, 71 to 75, remains the best-selling album of all time in the United States.
Yes, absolutely true.
And
it's the only thing the U.S. agrees on.
But yeah, I mean, like, who doesn't love listening to the Eagles while you're grocery shopping? Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love listening to the Eagles on your way to church? Who doesn't love listening to the Eagles?
I'll tell you who doesn't love listening to the Eagles is the Grateful Dude and Jeff Lebowski.
Yeah, that's right.
Possible.
My most memorable experience with Eagles music is being an ice cream stand manager at Darien Lake and having to watch the Best of Eagles show performed by college kids like 3 times a day, every day. So I've listened to those songs more than I ever care to, not by the Eagles.
You have the widest array of associations with the Eagles that I could not have imagined for number 5.
Yeah.
Alex.
Eagles.
Well, all right. I already know the Eagles are going to be all over this show, and they were a tie break for me to make it, so I booted them.
All right.
Good.
My number 5, we're going to go with ELO.
Nice.
I honestly, they have caught me off guard over time. I think Evil One was probably the first song I ever heard by them that kind of started off the rabbit hole, and that's the one to point to. But they've always taken me as something a little bit different. Love getting to hear the little bits of keys that they've thrown into their music too.
Just a little.
Yeah, just a smidge. But it's just different for the classic rock genre for me. I think they separated themselves a little bit stylistically as something unique and different, and it was a fun switch off to listen to. So ELO takes my number 5.
There you go.
Ray.
Hey, how you doing, boys and girls? Well, so I really surprised myself when researching the letter E. While researching, I also determined that I'm going to be prepared better with my sometimes long stories, and I'm going to be a better listener.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Oh, the sea was angry that day, my friends. Insert smiley face here. So when I heard E, I already knew the top 2 were slam dunks, top picks. I had no question who my top 2 were going to be. But the research got fun when trying to come up with 3, 4, and 5. So I listened to parts or full libraries over the last 2 weeks of a number of artists.
You get an E for effort.
Thank you. So I discovered, rediscovered, and uncovered some harmonious sounds that are due for mention tonight. So let's start at number 5. I've really known nothing from this group aside from a great song in the 90s that was turned into one of the decade's best dance remixes, and just an incredible song, one of my favorite songs of the 90s. However, that's pretty much all I knew by this band. However, I discovered they went all the way back to their first release in 1984, and I never knew them till that 90s Dance Party Jam came out. Their style changed over time, a lot of jazz and sophisticated pop influences for the first decade, and then much more electronic leanings after the massive success of the song Missing. Tracy Thorn's vocals literally mesmerized me on some songs, especially on my favorite album of theirs called The Language of Life, released in 1990. I've listened to it 3 times. I just discovered it 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
They released 13 albums between 84 and 99. Didn't record again under the band name until 2023. Tracy Thorn and Ben Watt, they are known as Everything But the Girl, and I am now a fan.
Nice.
I saw them.
You know, I worked like their first half a dozen records, and I got them played at jazz radio too.
They're
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
He's really
Good for
got
you, brother.
cool,
They're great.
man.
Yeah, they're
pick.
Admittedly, I was wondering where Ray was going to go with that. So I was thinking like names that had a little bit of EDM, but a song of the decade. I was going to go with Eiffel 65 because I thought you were going to do that. Blue.
But missing that dance remix. Oh man.
Well, I knew it wasn't that when he said there's 16 albums.
Yeah, that's what I knew I was wrong.
Yeah, they made my honorable mention, but good for you.
Nice 5. Sue, follow that up.
Yeah, I know. I love going after Ray. And we love your stories, Ray.
Let's hear it from the 80s.
Thank you.
I love the Eagles. I didn't pick the Eagles, but I do love them. They didn't make my list because I knew other people would. And I also didn't pick Eminem, even though he's honorable as well. I went with the Eurythmics for number 5. It was a last minute switch with someone else who got bumped, but I just going back to the beginning with them.
Nice.
For the 80s, she was so eclectic and weird and wonderful and just such a different sound. Annie Lennox and what is it, Dave Stewart?
Yep.
So they had such an interesting sound. Their songs, I don't love all of their music, but like, Sweet Dreams, Here Comes the Rain, Would I Lie to You?
Songs that have been remade over and over again.
Oh, over and over again. But, it was just I don't know, creative and iconic. I don't like to use the word iconic, but really iconic kind of song. So I'm giving number 5 to them.
Yeah, Here Comes the Rain again. That's just a magical.
Big player on MTV too.
Kind of flawless. They're kind of that flawless type of.
Yeah, I love that one follow-up record, Savages. That was just like in your face, over the top. Heavy. Yeah,
there's one of the few contemporary classic bands voice. My parents didn't mind me playing.
Yeah.
Would you say, Jeff?
Annie's got a classic voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go and we'll get back to Jeff. I'm Eminem as well. There were 3 people battling it out as solo artists, and one of them maybe actually bigger, and I go to Eminem more often because there's something I always go, ooh, I didn't catch that. Ooh, right? So anyway. Now that everything has been disheveled, I'm back to the Grateful Dude, I believe. I'm trying to keep up. Well, okay, Grateful Dude, go again.
Okay. I saw him once when I was living in Vegas. I think it was the late 80s. And English group formed in 1978. I understand they're still playing now. It's a group called Echo and the Bunnymen.
Oh, no, nice.
Yeah.
Very good group. Very good group. Elon McCulloch, Will Sargent, Les Patterson. They were a good group. They had some really good songs. And I saw them, so
yeah, iconic to an era of music that now spawned other genres and stuff. So very important band too. Sometimes
Crichton really loves those guys too. If he wasn't out in the water there, he could tell you that. But and the lead singer, his name's escaping me. He's done a lot of work solo wise. It wasn't like commercially successful, but if you listen to it, I forget his damn name, but stuff he put out too.
Yeah, I'll have to look because I'm like we call that it's not power pop. What was it called back then?
Well,
they were part of the second British invasion, that whole wave.
Yeah, I mean that's it. What it is at that time there was such an influx of music that was changing things. You had your Duran Durans, you had all kinds of different things, and you didn't have the capacity to suck it all in, so you went down one particular avenue in the 80s, and sometimes that wasn't where I went, and it took me a while to get back around to that. And now Jeff Crichton has returned, and he will now give us his number 5.
Oh, he didn't hear Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah, Echo and the Bunnymen was just taken at number 4 for the Grateful Dude.
What would the 80s be if they had the internet? Man.
Yeah.
Hey, so number 4 was Echo and the Bunnymen for the Grateful Dude. Okay.
Yeah, no, you would.
That's fine. Okay, so my number 5 is the Electric Flag.
The
Electric Flag, who was a short-lived band in the late '60s that featured the great Mike Bloomfield on guitar, and they were a blues rock band from the West Coast. Bloomfield really struck his chord, playing words there, and yeah, thanks, brother. If you've never heard Mike Bloomfield play the guitar, then I'm sorry you haven't, but you need to. He's that important in the annals of guitar playing. If for anything else, he's the only reason I'm mentioning the Electric Flag, who was short-lived. There's others that I would probably have on there, but because Mike Bloomfield is that important, the Electric Flag is number 5 for me.
Get Steve Scouten next.
So it's me?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured you two were together because the echo I could hear, and I'm like, I think it's the two of them.
All right. Well, I'm doing this from Ray. So my number 4 is the 2 guys that met in high school.
I think we're looking at him.
Guy's brother gave the first guy his name. They had some great songs. They're kings of yacht rock. It is England Dan and John Ford Coley. Thank you. Now go to my room.
Yes.
Young, you are on one tonight.
Nice. Somehow I think this show started at 6 o'clock.
What's it, 8:30 now?
Yeah. All right, Jeff Young.
All right. Well, I'll just knock out another one that somebody said. I'll just say Eminem, and then yeah. I mean, just the most notable thing is first rapper to win an Academy Award for Best Original Song, and yeah, just kind of expanded that whole hip hop scene with, I think, an audience that wasn't as into it as maybe they are today. So anyway, that's it. Not much else to say about Eminem.
Okie dokie. Who was supposed to be next after you? Do you remember, Jeff?
Not it.
Alex? Okay.
Neither of these.
I reordered my finger to do what the order is. So if you ever need
Nice.
number 4, and someone I'd be surprised if it makes any other list, but I'm showing my age and my ear with this one. I'm going to go with George Ezra.
Ooh.
There you go.
I call him one of my favorite patio music artists. Easy listen, throw him on, never feels out of place, great for relaxing.
Wow.
Short, sweet, to the point, but
just a mix, not an album.
Really kind of like he's one of those guys where I can listen to just about any song in his library and I don't need it to be an album. I can just hit shuffle on his name.
I got a call from Budapest. You want to take this one, Alex?
Nice background, Steve.
Mr. Geska.
Yes, indeedy. All right, so I did not envision. So I didn't envision going this route and finding out my worthy five. Rarely do I dig into the jazz or swing areas, right? When we do this exercise, well, this time that search was warranted. I listened to a good deal of his recordings over the past 2 weeks. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I understand his greatness and the tremendous respect that he carries through American history. He was immortalized in a smash 1976 hit from Stevie Wonder, and his arguably most recognized song was featured as the first sound on side one of the 1981 Rolling Stones concert recording, Still Life. The song I refer to is Take the A Train. He wrote or collaborated on more than 1,000 compositions. His extensive body of work is the largest recorded personal jazz legacy, and many of his pieces have become standards. Born and raised in Washington, D.C., for there's Basie, Miller, Satchmo, and the king of all, Sir Duke Ellington.
Very good. You're
Very,
surprising
very
me
good.
with Everything But the Girl and the Duke. And
There you
now
go.
the Duke Steve.
Nice.
I figured I'd get rid of your echo, Mark.
Yeah, I was trying to mute you, and I figured it was happening.
People have been trying to mute me for 58 years.
Oh,
Hi, I'm
well,
Bob,
that's
Bob
not
McKenzie.
fair.
This is my brother Doug.
Yeah, your other brother, Daryl.
God. It's all right. Mark's been echoing
This is
in my head
John
since
Oates. I'm Daryl
1988.
Hall.
Number 4, I went with a new one to me from this last year, Elbow. I don't know if you're gonna pick a Mark or not, but again, I don't sometimes I don't know what happened, that I don't recall ever hearing this band before, but seeing them live last year at Electric City, they are electric. They're a really cool band. I don't know that I don't have a favorite album at this time. But it's really cool that, I seem to enjoy their older stuff up to their newer stuff. And I just love, was it Guy Garvey? Is that the lead singer? He's got an incredible voice and stage presence. And for anybody out there who doesn't know who they are, you should give them a listen because it's a really cool catalog.
Excellent choice. Can't deny it. Jeff Crichton, number 4.
Number 4, I was like, weighing the options here. So I'm going to flip a coin here, and I think that it's going to be Echo and the Bunnymen, number 4 as well. To me, they were, after U2 and REM, maybe for me, my favorite bands of the 80s. And I got to work a bunch of their records too, and just album after album, they reminded me a lot of some of their stuff could have been influenced by the Doors, I think. And I just think Ian McCullough was a great front man. Will Sargent was a great second in command, and they consistently put out great records. So they're my number 4.
Echo.
Did I get everybody before I go on? Right.
Hey, real quick, Mark, Jeff, before while you were swimming out in the ocean and doing your weekly "Oops, I Got Booted."
Yeah,
we're talking about Echo, and who's the lead singer?
Ian McCullough.
There he is. Yeah, very good as a solo artist as well.
I'm gonna go to Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.
And a band that I'm not a power pop guy, but this band turned it on its edge, singing songs that had a darker lyrical content, yet a happy presence in the musicality of it all, which was something different. And that is an art form all itself. And of course, the man's first name is Art Alexis of Everclear.
Call them.
Okay.
And I didn't start to get into Everclear. I mean, yes, I had So Much for the Afterglow when it came out, but it was Songs from an American Movie, volumes 1 and 2, that really told me that the band, well, basically him, had this unique way of writing different songs in different, not in a different genre, but in a different way. And I so much love those records, and I turned to them quite a bit. I still consider the first volume one of the greatest albums ever made in that era and time frame. So, which, everybody was saying in the 2000s music was, oh no. Well, that album was just spectacular start to finish and completely different from start to finish. Nothing samey at all. And they could have been samey because they can pull that off too. There's no question about it. But, what were they? I think they went on tour with, like Marcy's Playground and that at the time. So there's a lot of that, era and stuff, but people that didn't make it out of that very much longer, but they did, they still do. So
Matchbox 20 and Lighthouse.
A phenomenal song title coming from them, by the way. Volvo Driving Soccer Mom.
Yes, the Volvo Driving Soccer Moms from what was the name?
03 Slow Motion Daydream.
Yes, Slow Motion Daydream. Great record.
I will say Everclear made my honorables, but one of the most iconic songs of the 90s being Santa Monica, just not in composition, but just in sound and kind of putting yourself in that era.
Fantastic song.
If you were to name a song, if you time traveled me and dropped me in the 90s, I would expect to hear that somewhere in my journey.
Yep. That and Cumbersome. Anyway, let's go to the Grateful Dude. Number 3.
Well, mine's a rematch. It's a band that we know as the Eurythmics, and I love them. I always have, and but enough's been said about them, so I will go to
Steve Scott.
Steve. Yeah, you.
This guy? Cool.
That guy.
Cool. I am number 3 was tough for me, and I can't get it out of my head.
There you go. Very good.
All right.
I'm starting to get real catchy.
Well, yes. Well, look who I'm sitting next to. Yeah, ELO for me, just fantastic. Their run, Jeff Lynne, 1970 on, they still, they're still quite listenable. You hear them. That whole, orchestral, symphonic, they were the masters of it. And love ELO. A solid number 3 for me.
I don't think I could have named a band member when I was describing them earlier, so it's cool to hear it from people who lived out.
Them. He's the only one that anybody knows.
Yeah, he really is.
ELO morphed from another band too. They were originally from 1967 or maybe 66 till the Electric Light Orchestra's first album in 1971. Prior to that, they were a band called The Move.
The Move, yeah.
And Roy Wood and Jeff Lynne decided to expand and form ELO.
Well, listen up when I do the M's then.
The Move. There you go.
Yeah.
Fine band.
The T's for the.
A fine band.
Traffic's getting. I've been yelling that at people every time I drive.
Well, here we are. I'm just going to pick this band for the hell of it. It's the first vinyl album I ever owned, and it's Raise from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes.
So I picked Earth, Wind, and Fire because I feel like I don't know Earth, Wind, and Fire, but when you hear an Earth, Wind, and Fire song, it's an Earth, Wind, and Fire song, and it's always a good one because they have so much music in their catalog. Like, you could probably go a year and hear 10 to 15 songs of Earth, Wind, and Fire just without even trying. But yeah, just it's always good. It's usually pretty fun to listen to. Just good time.
Yeah.
So that's what I picked.
I don't know whether there's more songs or more band members. Not sure. It's a war. They go in and out of
the Earth, Wind, and Fire is a community, Mark.
Yes, it is.
Who's got the better community, Earth, Wind, and Fire or Wu-Tang?
Oh, it's definitely Earth, Wind, and Fire. We're talking 100 different band members. I think it's closing in on.
Well, it's better than the Village People.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the one person is left is the son of a drummer or son of somebody. I think that's the. I don't know.
One of the Whites.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire are the 3 best powers to have in anime. So.
Yeah. Steve Scouten. No, wait. No, I already went. Help me out there, Captain. Alex?
Or
Is it Ray or the Alex?
Go ahead, Alex.
No, it's Alex, then
then
Ray, because then it's
Alex,
Sue.
then
Yeah,
Ray.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get there.
Jeez, we're starting to sound like Earth, Wind, and Fire in terms of not keeping track of our members.
Yes.
Ironically enough, I had the same exact pick for my number 3. So not really much I can add on to that. So let's groove.
Cool.
Who's that?
All right, Ray.
Hello, too.
Oh, hi. How are you? Hey, here's yet another one that I didn't predict would make my list of E's.
Europe.
But I cannot tell. I can't tell how doggone worthy that they are of this. So I was introduced to these guys along with the rest of the early fathers of rock and roll by my parents. Teenager in the rock and roll days for both of them. So, they were jitterbugging, the ladder jitterbug, whatever the dance they did, rock around the clock right up to the twist, etc. So I got to know all those artists, before ever playing the oldies on Oldies 104. So I'm the young guy at that time that knew all the old songs. Now I'm the, well, never mind. So these two guys, first and foremost, are related to one another. Known for their steel string acoustic guitars and their oh so sweet harmonies. They had 35 Billboard Top 100 singles, 26 in the top 40. They hold the record for the most top 100 singles by any duo and trail only Hall & Oates for the most top 40 singles by a duo. Mm-hmm. Paul McCartney referred to Phil and Don in the lyrics to Let 'Em In from the 1976 album Wings at the Speed of Sound. From Knoxville, Tennessee, big influences on the Beatles, on the Beach Boys, on Simon and Garfunkel. Actually, 22 years ago, I got to see them open for Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, wow.
Brothers Phil and Don, the Everly Brothers.
Brilliant choice.
I knew they'd be on here at least 3 times.
Well, they'll return.
Yeah. Damn it, I keep Oh, it's Sue. Yes, sorry.
Well, mine's already been said by you, Everclear. And I probably picked it because you were probably playing it all the time. So I don't know really what else to say about them other than I love their music, and definitely 90s, brings you right back to the 90s. So
do you remember the concert?
I do. It's like a gym or something?
Yeah, we saw them in a gym at RIT.
Oh, wow.
So,
and Nickelback opened.
Ooh, sorry.
No, that sounded great. I mean,
right.
we're talking about a basketball, regular gym.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's not arena rock, it's gym rock.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was gym rock. It's like seeing a concert at the Sales,
Phys Ed rock.
All right. Jeff Crichton.
This band's been mentioned at number 3, so I'll just keep the string going. I've seen Earth, Wind, and Fire a bunch of times. When people talk about horn section in bands, they're rarely mentioned, but their horn section is fantastic. The late great Maurice White formed a great band in the late 60s, and they really didn't hit their stride until about 73 because their first couple albums on Warner Brothers didn't make it. So they were dropped. Columbia signed them, and the rest is history. Just a fantastic band all the way through with great songs. And not only great songs, but great deep songs and really good albums. So, which were produced by Maurice White. So, and Philip Bailey was a fantastic lead singer, during their most popular stretch. So there you go. EWF, number 3.
Really great song with Phil Collins too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Texas, and it won't be the kind of music you're thinking. This band will not be mentioned by any other panelist, I'm pretty sure. Their style is considered cathartic, but rock. very moody, crescendos here and there, crafted an instrumental that is like just it's something I hadn't heard in instrumental rock and post rock at the time. They were huge with Austin City Limits for years and years before making it big. But I went into Record Theater one day, and everybody there knew me, obviously, because I spend all kinds of money there. And the one girl behind the counter, she goes, "Mark, you got to hear this album. It'll make you cry." And I'm like, man, that sounds very, very interesting. And I said, "Who's the band?" And she said, "Explosions in the Sky." And that is my number 3. And it's All of a Sudden I Miss Everyone. That's from 2007. They've been around since 2000. Their last record was in 2023 called End. It was a little bit more electronic ish and ambient styles, but there's a lot there for you to get into if you've never known the band. They are tremendous.
But did you cry?
Close. But nah, you got to do that to make me cry, I think. Anyway, more on that later.
Stay tuned.
Back to the Grateful Dude.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna pick up where Jeff Crichton left off. Except I got a good short story to tell about this one. I was 18 back about 53, 54 years ago.
Liar.
I wish. And I was driving tow truck for this gentleman at night because I went to school during the day. And this man had a Sunday Gunther. And Gunther's favorite band in the world at the age of 10 was Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I was able to get tickets for him, and I took him to his first concert, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I being your typical long-haired
hippie
head, and he loved it. I cringed at it, but I saw their reality, and they were awfully good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember much of it.
Because your hair was in the way?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to be sure I was playing along.
Actually, I put it in the way.
That was Wynn's fault.
Yes.
But they're during my existence on this earth, I've heard them many, many, many times. And they're a great band. They are. They really are. They deserve to be where they are.
Yep. All right. We'll head over to Steve Scouten.
My number 2 has been mentioned a number of times and was just mentioned, so I will simply say Earth, Wind, and Fire is my number 2.
Fair.
Wow, it's a lot of mentions.
Yeah.
Well spoken.
I thought that was going to turn out to be the Eagles tonight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Jeff Young.
All right. I was going to say this for last, but I'm going to say I'm going to go with Mr. Danny Elfman.
Nice.
So, a former street performer in Paris who learned how to breathe fire wound up in his first band, Oingo Boingo. But then, obviously, did a string and continues to do a string of movies with like a 17, 20-year relationship with what's his name from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, yeah.
Burton.
But and he was actually the singing voice of Jack Skellington in that. Did the Simpsons theme,
right?
Just
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah, it's actually, because Paul Rubens both those guys were a fan of Danny Elfman from Oingo Boingo, so that's how I think they asked him to do that. But But yeah, just just a million awards, a million nominations, a million movies, films, TV, and of course the Oingo Boingo thing. But I don't really know Oingo Boingo, but I sure know Danny Elfman.
Oh, it's a dead man's party. Leave your body at the door.
Yeah.
And you know who knew enough to get him for his party in the dorm? Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep. He did the score there too.
He had
Back
them
to school.
They were the band playing in his dorm room.
That's right.
Yep.
Oingo Boingo might be one of my favorite bands to listen to come Halloween time. Weird Science is a fun song.
Yeah, that was kind of the launch of the first movie there. Anyway, that's what I got.
Excellent.
Cool.
Alex.
Well, I'll probably go with one that almost certain at this point by hitting number 2 is not making this list.
Eagles of death metal.
Well, I did say the Eagles should get mentioned more throughout this episode. But it is not them. It is the artist known as Brett Eldredge. Now, I put him that high on the list because at first he started out country, and he kind of blended in with your casual solo artist that pops up and has couple singles off of each record that get catchy and putting out with consistency that you start to take to him. And then I started hearing less and less of him on country radio. And I started to dive in a little deeper, wondering why. And I think it's that dive started because I was still listening to country radio on Sirius XM on the highway.
Okay.
And they did an hour-long set of him at Patsy's in New York City, one of Sinatra's favorite places. And he did nothing but sing Sinatra for an hour.
Wow.
And I sat there and I went, this country artist from Paris, Illinois, suddenly sounds like a decent crooner.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to thinking more about that because then I waited until the next album he put out and the next album after that. And although they still have a little bit of rooted in country sound, he's much more of just a great singing vocalist. It's less about the music and more that he's singing a story throughout each song. And that was something I just really took to because it's not your traditional redneck country, twangy, anything like that. He started turning a little bit from country into a more folk and true singing artist. Where if you wanted to start doing some swing music, and he has done this before, so you can find plenty of that. He's one of the new up-and-coming best people to listen to for covering Christmas music. Highly recommend him, and he has some original Christmas songs out as well that he's done, and definitely worth looking him up for if you can get past the country era, seeing how he evolved. If you do listen to that too as well.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Not Ray.
All right. Well, in the 70s, there was something so great about the whole soul and R&B genre. Not like today. It was different. Something about the soul aspect of
These
it.
kids today.
They melded. They were funky. There were dance jams. There were incredible melodies, harmonious and memorable lyrics. The lead singers of all those soul-influenced bands, well, those came down from like the Temptations and the Four Tops, Sly and the Family Stone. Few of the soulful bands of the 70s could keep up with the success and the greatness of my number 2. Their sound, their included jazz, included R&B, soul, funk, disco, pop, Latin, Afro pop. The band's known for its kalimba sound. Its dynamic horn section, energetic and elaborate stage shows, and the contrast between the two lead singers, one with the falsetto and the other one with tenor vocals. Just a beautiful combination. Formed in Chicago in 1969, it was a hot time for horn-influenced bands. Favorites for me, Fantasy, Serpentine Fire, After the love is gone, sing a song. Got to get you into my life. That's the way of the world. And of course, do you remember the 21st night of September? Ladies and gentlemen, the elements of the universe: earth, wind, and fire.
Nice.
And beer.
Okay, go ahead, Sue.
I know.
Follow that one.
Yeah, I can't.
Damn, I gotta follow him.
What can I say? All right, so initially I was gonna try to do all females, but and that's what kind of led me to this artist. Began I looked this up quick because I wasn't quite sure, into the 70s, which I don't remember that, but she and the band kind of paved the way for other Latin pop singers like Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Most everybody has probably danced to one of or many of her songs, weddings, school dances, clubs. I went with Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine.
Legend.
I don't think she's ever been mentioned on this show, has she?
No. And the reason you dance to it is because the rhythm is going to get you. You don't have a
The
choice.
rhythm is gonna get you, but Conga, Don't Want to Lose You Now, Anything for You, 1, 2, 3, Get on Your Feet, Here We Are Again, Turn the Beat Around, Coming Out of the Dark, Reach. Just actually, she's quite entertaining, really. I don't think she got enough. I don't know.
Did we lose Jeff Crichton again?
Absolutely
Oh, we
no
lost him a
offense.
while ago.
Absolutely no offense at all, Sue.
Uh-huh.
I can't stand Gloria Estefan.
Why? Tell me why.
She just rubs this guy over here the wrong way. Not this guy, this guy.
Just that guy?
Yeah. I get everything, like, her with the accident and everything and the music,
okay.
this and that. Like, I get it. Like, she's talented and all. I get it, but I just, like Lebowski is with the Eagles, I can't freaking stand Gloria Estefan. I don't know what it is. I'm not a fan. I just wanted that on the record in case we're audited.
Yeah, in case we're audited. I will not. He's not going down with that chip.
Correct. Thank you.
Well,
just like me.
In that case, we'll just
everyone.
censor that out and just say Enrique.
Just want it on the record.
Like
He wants it on each page of the transcript.
Yes. Me and Kiss, the Bee Gees. Okay. Jeff Crichton, thanks for getting back.
You're welcome. My number 2 is, for me, one of the great songwriters, maybe the last 30, 40 years. And I'm going down to Texas for this one as well. He originally welcomed us into Guitar Town, and then grew from there. But man, does this guy write some songs? And if you have not gotten into him, which Steve's shaking his head and knows who I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
But my number 2 guy is Mr. Steve Earle.
Very good. Yep.
Good pick.
Yep.
Good pick. And then one of those that
Earle.
Steve Earle.
E-A-R-L-E.
Yep.
What a songwriter.
Yep. Very much so.
That's a good pull.
All right, my number 2. There's just something about the harmony, the songwriting, and how it all comes together. Extraordinary musicians? Not really. Not in my book anyway. But just together, the sum of the parts equal the whole. And despite my disdain for one of the members in his, I don't know, his hatred for people using his music, I don't know why he created it then. The Eagles they're just fantastic at that. And those songs are always catchy. They're always memorable. They're always sung to some sort of what's his name? Donald Fagen kind of perfection or something. I don't know. It's weird to me that no mistakes are made except letting that one guy sing. But other than that, I got the high part. I got the high part. No, all right, never mind. The Eagles are at number 2.
Are you talking about Randy Meisner?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't. There's no slow dance I'll ever do to any of that. I got to leave when that happens. All right. Back to the Grateful Dude. Your number 1.
My number 1. I'm just gonna repeat what Jeff Crichton said. It's Everly Brothers. You couldn't.
Ray said it.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Ray. I'm sorry about that.
I haven't said it yet.
Just delay the inevitable.
Everly Brothers. I've seen them six or 7 times. The last time was in 1920.
1920. Yeah.
1920.
They were at their peak.
I was a zygote.
In 2020, and they were excellent. I saw them in Vegas. In fact, all times except one, I saw them in Vegas because they like to play Vegas.
Nice. There's a band. There are people that I expected them to be on. Yep. Oh, Steve Scouten, number 1.
Yeah, what Jeff Lebowski hates, I love. They're the quintessential American band, the Eagles are. I love them. Growing up with the Greatest Hits album, you played the hell out of it as a cassette, well, as an 8-track, then a cassette, then an album. As weird as this is going to sound, I think one of their quintessential songs that really highlighted everything was Seven Bridges Road. It's such a really, really, really well done song. As members changed over, as Randy Meisner left and Timothy B. Schmidt was added, the absolute quirky weirdness of Joe Walsh. I hate everybody, but your sound is fantastic, Don Henley. And then, the rudder of the wheel, Glenn Frey. I mean, they were to music what the 27 Yankees were to baseball. They were a murderer's row, and they just put it all together, and they were a very easy number 1 for, mic drop, Razor. You're right.
Mic drop it. Yep.
Easy for me. Easy. And I'm going to say this right now. Sue, I know you're number 1.
I'm sure you do.
I'm just putting it out there.
And
Jeff Young.
I'm just picking a personal favorite. They're not the best of anything, but I'm going with Econoline Crush.
Yeah.
Canada.
They were in my
Nice.
Great 90s band.
Yeah.
Mixing a little bit of electronic, elements with just straight ahead good rock and good vocals and good times.
What was their biggest hit called?
Devil You Know.
The Devil You Know.
Devil You Know. That's
I
right.
thought your shirt when
That's a
you
good
put that
call.
on and
Great
came back
call.
into the frame was the crest of Team Germany. I was wondering where that was going until you brought it up like this. I went, oh, that's not even the crest.
Yeah, and Mr. Hurst is a great vocalist too.
And became a nurse afterwards because he decided to do something more meaningful.
Weird. Just Ray? No, Alex.
Well, I contemplated Gloria Estefan just out of spite for
Wow.
Steve.
I can't.
So you chose Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, it's better than choosing Emilio Estevez. I don't think his music got very far either.
We all know it's Enya.
Eve's Plum. What?
And since I missed the D's last week, I thought I could just do Evo, but that one was out. No, my number 1 was very easy from the start. I worked my list down off this. I had to put Eminem at number 1, not only for growing up and hearing his music influentially and my era of youth. But I think for a genre that can be so easily crowded with the same sounds and the same voices, when you hear an Eminem song, whether it's his rhyme scheme, his actual vocal tone, you can say he used to have a stranglehold. I think, Steve, you said it earlier. He used to have a stranglehold on this, but
yeah, he did.
It's just that he's kind of moved into that classic now. He doesn't have anything to prove. He can put out music.
Totally agree.
Not as he wants to, but as he feels compelled to. And I think that there's something about the way that within the rap genre, being able to freestyle, rap battle, compose something as an album, do one-offs and features. There's nothing he missed at in that genre. He put a lot of soul and personal touch into lyrics. And quite frankly, was one of the most raw to do it. If I could get my hands on a sketchbook of his of lyrics he had written down, holy, would that just be something to flip through and just
you'll be paying a lot of money, I got a feeling.
No, not to own it, just to read it. I just want to be able to flip the pages and see what that brain had come up with over time. One of the most unique sounds in rap, and I get the vulgarity, I get the raunchiness that he can have to others, but man, even despite that, he still seems to come out ahead of that label, and just was a master at his craft.
Cool. Would you say Dr. Dre though was more? I mean, like he really brought it out in him, right?
Sure.
Yeah. There's your producer that said, he was not going to be able to do this on his own because he's a white man.
Yes.
And Dre and what's his name, Prince Paul from De La Soul, they sat in there and went, this is something. I don't know if this is are we gonna? I mean, even on the record, he even says it'd be better if you gave me nothing. You're rapping about Vicodin and killing your wife, and he's like, and then what does it do? It becomes the greatest rap album ever made, bar none. Not even close.
But I think that's not even. It's not to take away from Eminem. It's
no,
like
you just
getting a record opportunity.
Hey, with Michael Jackson, okay, Thriller doesn't happen without Quincy Jones, right? Because somebody
off the wall was Quincy Jones, and that catapulted.
Yeah.
And if you were a kid that grew up in the '80s, like I did, and would have told me in the middle of 1985 when you had Run DMC and Curtis Blow,
the Fat Boys,
Sugar Hill Gang, and the Fat Boys and Grandmaster Flash and all, that Eminem, a white kid from Detroit, was going to take over the rap. I'd have told you you're completely out of your freaking mind.
Yeah, wouldn't have been on your bingo card.
No way. No way. And he did. And that's a fantastic thing.
And another thought too is you never thought of that genre and Detroit next to each other,
unless you thought one of the Beastie Boys was going solo.
Yeah. Well, my point in and I think Jeff Crichton's point too is like these producers, these people that make that sound, that beat, that you've got your rhymes, you've got because remember, he could just do that flat out, right? Maybe he had something in his head. I don't really know the whole genre story, but you think of Quincy Jones, right? And you think of Michael Jackson there. And do you think at a certain point during the recording, Quincy stops and says, what would be really good there? What? Shimon?
Right.
Never mind.
And admittedly too, and maybe this is from my experience, growing up as a white male at a Catholic school, that genre was always kind of taboo.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that you could, it now felt okay.
Yeah.
Seeing another white male in the rap genre to be like, hey, maybe I can actually start listening to this again.
The Beastie Boys cracked that egg. Eminem broke it.
Yeah.
And I missed the Beastie Boys. I had heard them, but they were still getting play on like rock radio.
Oh, they still will, yeah.
They will.
But that's where Eminem was like, this almost felt like you were doing something that like wasn't bad, but you were like,
well, you also gotta remember something. He didn't get radio play because
It
it's
was
all
so
vulgar.
sensitive.
He can't. They had to write. He had to have one song, but all the rest of it, he can't. No one's putting that on. Now you're in a different era, but back then even it was hard to get that played on radio. So
Yeah,
and he still sold more albums. It's yeah. All right, it's Ray Gaska, number one.
Oh, good. The Eminem conversation's over. All right. So never a question to me who was going to be number one for on this list. They still play in a version of the band. Realistically, there was a 10-year period in the 1970s from the beginning until their last album in 1980, and then 14 years till the thaw, till hell froze over. However, it is that period between their first release in 1972 through late 79, early 1980, when everything these guys touched was gold. Everything. Their 1975 Greatest Hits album, which came up a little bit earlier by our resident historian, Jeff's iPad 2. Their 1975 Greatest Hits album is the top selling album in the United States all time. They identified right off the bat with that whole California sound. Jeff will cry and will take you on a tour someday about his about their influences from Poco to Springfield to whatever. They identified with the California sound, but they were loved from the tip of Maine all the way to a corner in Winslow, Arizona. At the beginning, it was Glenn, Don, Bernie, Randy, and they all played behind Linda Ronstadt.
That's right.
And then another Don joined in 74, a weird guy named Joe in 77, and then Timothy in 1979. Their songs are legendary, classic road tripping or sing-alongs. Standout tracks for me, Peaceful Easy Feeling, Tequila Sunrise, Witchy Woman, Old 55. Standard tracks. It's fantastic stuff. 6 number one albums. From Los Angeles, California, ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles.
Congratulations on naming Old 55 a Tom Waits chestnut.
Yeah.
I believe it's pronounced Witch A Woman, by the way. But...
Yeah, it is Witch A.
A youthful touch.
Was an underrated album.
A youthful touch to the Eagles part two. I remember watching the Foo Fighters Sonic Highways DVD, and Joe Walsh performs on the LA track that they did for the track called Outside. And if you watch the DVD, Taylor Hawkins goes into detail talking about working with Joe Walsh as he was recording his guitar part. And Walsh hits one note and holds it. And Hawkins is like having a mind blown moment. And he goes, all he did was play a note. And I'm like losing my shit. And that was another moment for me where, granted, I didn't get to live in the era, but seeing the influence that band had, just one member in this case, on watching the making of that's a fun scene to, if you can ever hunt that down or if you ever watch that DVD, it's that was a good one. So,
and on the negative side, the only negative was that other than Stairway to Heaven, Hotel California's got to be the most overplayed song in the history of the world.
Yep.
Is up there. I would say Joe Walsh also makes a great appearance on Daryl Hall and Daryl Hall's show. Talks about how he became a guitarist. It's a funny story.
Oh yeah.
Sue.
Number one. Steve knows.
I do.
I'm
the only one that knows, by the way.
I'm kind of guessing I know.
I might come to your. Will you come to that window? I don't know.
I have a hunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this artist I was almost going to have in my
honorable
top 5, but
she was
my 5. She was my
honorable mention.
Got bounced by Eminem. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna.
That's how he treated
There's Kreskin up there.
The great Kreskin.
Okay.
Go ahead, Soup.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say it. Melissa Etheridge.
What?
I did have it.
Well, yeah. So I would say, and I know we did our catalog a while back. Mark and I did. I don't know if anybody else was on that one.
Jeff Crichton, were you on Etheridge?
I don't remember. But she's
great.
She's like amazing.
She's fantastic.
You know, her 88 through like 2001, just love them all in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Her debut album blows every other album she's got away, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
It's like similar to well, I'll stop talking about. But yeah, I love her early stuff just for its rawness and I know I've talked about her way too much on this show, but I'm gonna like learn to play one of her songs this year. I've just decided as we're sitting here since I talked
Good.
about him.
Good for you.
And we'll have you on the show and you can do it.
There you go. That's what I'm gonna do. Next time I mention her.
Here she is live.
Couldn't believe I guessed that right.
Jeff Crichton.
Good job.
Whenever I try to go back and I love to sing harmony. And so whenever I go and I listen to the artists I've grown to love over the years, but and these two brothers from Kentucky were mentioned earlier, but yes, they've influenced everybody that came after them. Lennon McCartney learned how to sing harmony. Paul and Artie learned to sing harmony from the Everly Brothers. They had a summer replacement variety show on ABC. So if you go to YouTube and you look up the Everly Brothers variety show, there's some cool clips from that. And Ray mentioned how McCartney mentioned them and let them in. So in '84, Don and Phil had a comeback album of sorts, and McCartney wrote and produced a song called "On the Wings of a Nightingale," which is a lovely song that their pure, gorgeous voices sang. That album was really good as well. But High and Above, I left the Eagles off my top 5 because I knew everybody else would be talking about them, but I can't leave the Everlys off of number 1. So high above everybody else. So there you go.
Sweet Harmony.
My number 1 happens because someone says that this band is opening for Radiohead. And at the time, Radiohead, biggest band on the planet. And I'm like, well, you got to have your shit together if you're going to open for Radiohead. And I'm like, who the hell are these guys? Elbow. And from Manchester, Guy Garvey at 16 years old gets asked by a friend of his to be in a band from the college days. And all of a sudden, in 2001, when they opened for Radiohead, they're doing an album called The Sleep in the Back. It is not the Elbow of now, and nothing has ever been since. This is a band of evolution, and the most creative songwriting that maybe is going on in Europe and in England. And he somehow seems to craft these songs. But when seeing him live for the first time, thank God that the Electric City had a moment and said, "Hey, we got to bring these guys in no matter what." For him to talk about his bandmates and to say, these are the people, these are my sad captains. And if there's any song in the world that would make me cry, that's the one, and
his eyes were a little teary.
Yep. Yeah. So that is a band that if you do not know, the catalog is vast. The dimensions of songwriting are different, alternative to, anything from dream pop to shoegaze but Guy Garvey's voice is a one of a kind. And it's not going to reach to the heavens and to the earth, but it has a different way of getting there. And the creativity of it. And there'll be song titles and rhyme schemes that you'll be like, wow, but that's the English side of things. And you have to sometimes come into that. And I have come to that. And I highly recommend. That is my number 1. I know that we've gone long, but I'll take some honorable mentions as we go around. If you 1 or 2, there shouldn't be that many in the E's really. So I'll start off with the Grateful Dude.
No,
you're good. All right, Steve Scouten.
I'll give 2. I'll give Europe.
It's the final countdown.
Yes, so the final countdown.
Nice.
And I'll give one I don't think anybody else will give, and that's the Canadian Celtic band Enter the Haggis.
That my buddy Tim Bracken would love you for that one.
Yep. Love Enter the Haggis. Seen them? They're great.
Who did they open for somebody?
They did. Who did I?
They opened for Enter the Dragon.
No, stop. This is why we shouldn't be in a room together. I forget.
Hi, I'm Doug. This is my brother Bob.
Yes.
I thought maybe it would have been Doyle, but
they might have played Canal Side.
Oh, okay.
I think they did play around here at one point.
Yeah, I think they played Canal Side. That's where I saw them.
Okay.
Yep.
Alex?
Well, I was kind of surprised to see Econoline Crush and Everclear hit the lists for other people, so that was nice to see. But the one I wanted to highlight from mine, I admittedly did not do a whole lot of background on this band. I loved one of their albums, which was Head for the Door, which was in 2004. And I never heard another thing from this band again, never really went down their rabbit hole, looked them up, and they have 5 albums, but they came out in 00, 03, the one I like in 04, and then 07. And then, come to find out, 2024 put out an EP. So after a 15-year hiatus, I might have some looking to do. It's the X's.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have 2 of the albums. They kind of ran a gamut for me, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were he in the EA Sports video game soundtrack era of the 2000s.
Yep.
So that was what tipped me off to them initially, and there wasn't a song I didn't like off that one album, so just never did any more background on them, but they're pretty good.
Ray?
Yes, sir. I had a couple that were just mentioned, had their Melissa Etheridge, also England Dan and John Ford Coley, and Everclear, ELO, but also one of the great early guitarists, Dwayne Eddy. Quite a player. I know Steve had mentioned Dick Dale a couple of shows ago, had that unique guitar song, but as did Dwayne Eddy in a couple, Rebel Rouser and 40 Miles of Back Road, some incredible guitar songs. And also I had one other one was Extreme.
Oh, Extreme. Good one. Jeff Young?
I mean, Edwin is memorable, but maybe not worth a mention. But I'm kind of surprised no one mentioned Emerson, Lake and Palmer. But I will, again, not on my list, just saying. And then
I was bad too, now you say that.
But I will I don't know that I really have any. Like the one band I should probably listen to a little more of, and I'm probably have it just because I'm afraid of being disappointed, is Dio's very first band, Elf. But I don't think he was a major role of that. Like, what was your thoughts on Elf there, Jeff?
They were really a regional band. You know, Central New York. They were big in Central New York because he hailed from Cortland. But they were never big. But people got to know them after the fact.
Yeah, that one album cover is pretty scary.
Oh yeah, very scary.
Very scary album cover.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe they had something to do with it.
That was an album for today, last year, I think, at one point or year. But it's up there. Actually, in the most of the ones that get viewed, it's in the hundreds. People.
But you know what? I did some radio interviews with him in Central New York, and whenever he was on the radio, Elf would always be referenced.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a cult classic in the rock, in a classic rock. Jeff Crichton?
I've had in my honorable mentions some bands that were already mentioned: ELO, Melissa Etheridge, Everything But the Girl. I also have the great songwriter, guitar player, producer Dave Edmonds.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of
who is worthy of an honorable mention. The great Sheila E.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who I would reference, and also her brother Alejandro Escovedo. And Alejandro had a country punk band in the early '80s called Rank and File, and then he wound up going on his own and he's made some really, really good solo records. Alejandro Escovedo. Steve, I think you would like him a
Yep,
lot.
I've heard.
Yeah, I've got one.
have.
I know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He tours around a lot too. I see his name in a lot of things.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yep.
Cool. Sue.
All of mine have really been mentioned. I was contemplating including Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians, but I know they only had a couple of albums really. I used to enjoy their sound and I loved her voice.
It would have been great in the Bees.
No, that's right. Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians. Oh my God!
And the New Bohemians.
Where's the red flag you tossed in the air for Ray? This is
instant replay.
The challenge flag.
Challenge flag.
He's a challenge flag.
I'm a rule breaker. Rule breaker.
This is why I should be on my street.
On street breaking the rules.
Yeah. All right. So I'll end it on two that you won't know. So I'll start with number one from San Diego, California, stoner rock, psychedelic, mostly instrumental, heavy blues, riffs, and more. I've mentioned them once before on what do we used to do? You should listen to. We used to do what's in your ear? And this is Earthless. Excellent. They actually do stoner rock in a jazz idea. And my computer's going to take a little spin around the sun. They do the tracks as a one take and the whole album, and they do it live in the studio, and they kind of improv some of this. And that one of the albums I really highly recommend is 2022's Night Parade of 100 Demons. Now, saying that, you kind of know where we're headed with that, but now I'll take you to something completely and utterly different that'll kind of blow your mind if you do get a chance. Her name is Emika. Emika. What can I say about her? Well, she's dubstep. She's trip hop. She's experimental electronic because she's techno synth pop. She's piano solo. She's witch house. Good luck with that one. Contemporary classical music.
I've seen her on YouTube.
A contemporary classical musician. She is fantastic at the piano.
Yes, she is.
2 albums that you should take a look into. They're both kind of titled in the same, and it's I think it's called Claverini, and fantastic solo piano with ambient textures and stuff. And she can sing as well, but she chooses not to in some of the piano realms. So I will thank our many panelists tonight for doing this. Great job on the E's. We'll return in 2 weeks for F, and I'll try to behave myself. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, this YouTube thing, of course. Articles, videos, and a podcast coming never. All about music, albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching. Happy listening.